Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Speaking in English so I don't forget how to. So, in today's episode, I want to talk about random things, okay? I'm gonna talk about the things that I've been doing. I tried to pick a topic, I just filmed something, but I tried to pick a topic and nothing was good enough for me to keep talking about it. And I think it's gonna be better if I just talk about, I don't know, the stuff that's been happening, the things that I've been watching or something like that. Anyway, it will be nice. I know now. One of my videos, because this is a series that I started on TikTok. So the first episode of this series is actually a TikTok that I edited for YouTube. So one girl commented on one of my videos and she said, why don't you talk about how the Kardashians help you, watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians help you with learning English? And I think that's something interesting that I can talk about. I can talk about the way that I actually learn the language. Well, first of all, I kinda did it myself, just because I liked the language. I liked languages, and English was one that I kinda needed to survive on the internet. Well, not survive, because there was a time where internet was kind of new, so if you really wanted to see real cool content, you kind of need to know English. Not only because the whole system, like the whole Windows thing, like let's just start with even the word Windows. Windows, it's an English word, so every command on the internet, or every word that comes from the internet, the generic words that we use now, like the word internet, like Bluetooth, anything tech related usually comes from English. So I feel like English is just like the language of the internet and like the language of the people. And on the internet, that is something that's been changing, because there is a lot of AI now that can automatically translate what you're saying. So maybe in the future you will see this video with a voiceover in another language, because YouTube created that thing now. And so that's the main reason why I started talking in English, because I kind of needed to, because I was an internet kid. I am a millennial. There was a time that there was no internet, and I had to play outside, and I did all those stuff. After internet was a thing, I was the one who stayed in his room in front of the computer for hours. That was a way for me to escape, because I come from a really small town, small-minded. You know how it is. There is a Spanish quote that says, Ciudad chica, infierno grande, which translates to small town, big hell. That sounds like a chill thing to say. Well, so I wasn't like truly happy there. Like I was always trying to find ways to relate to the people with the things that I liked, and I had friends. I had a couple of them, a lot of them, but I never felt quite I don't know how I feel about it. It's just like a small city thing, maybe. And then with time I kept on watching. I remember my first my first TV series that I watched from beginning to end, and actually binging it, and actually staying waiting for the next episode, and it was Veronica Mars. So, and after that, so she was basically my first English teacher, and if you saw that show, you would know how her wit was just like so sharp. The way she spoke, she was so funny and smart, and that actually helped me a lot with, trying to make jokes in English and stuff, because I do think that's kind of hard to do, because you need a lot of references from the culture to actually be able to create jokes, or understand jokes from TV shows. So that it's something that also has a negative effect in my life, which is whenever I want to do something work related in English, because at my last job, I had to do presentation in English and everything. I've been in the US a couple of times, and that wasn't actually my first, no, it wasn't my first, the first time I was talking in English, but the style of the way that you talk to people on a corporate level, it's a lot different than the way you see it on movies and TV shows, because usually when you see a conversation between two characters on a TV show, they have a very intimate relationship. So when you learn all those things, you need to be able to recognize that that is not a way that you speak to your boss or someone you don't know. Like, one of the things that I've been seeing with people learning English is that they really want to use the word. It's not a word to say anytime you can, but you see it so much on television because it's a word you say when you have some sort of intimacy with the other person, when you have some sort of bond with them. So it makes sense for you to call them but the B word. But I see people for people who learn English the way that I did, and they keep using that word like it's just nothing, like it means nothing, but it's actually a really strong word. And if you ever say that to someone, they will probably react, and they will not react the way you think they will react, because usually when people call each other beat on TV, the reaction that they have is like of a friendship, like so don't be surprised if you call someone the B word on the street, or someone you don't know, trying to be funny or trying to be cordial. You're not gonna get a good response probably. So don't be scared if they give you a bad face. That is just something that I'm gonna say. And after that, I moved from my small city that I come from, Kawasu. I moved from there and I come to Asunción, which is the capital. Still a small city because it's a small country, unfortunately. So, well, my country is actually bigger than the UK, but I think it is bigger. But we only use it like a little portion of it. So, since I'm gonna edit this video, maybe I'll forget it. If you don't see a map here right now, I'm really sorry. I forgot about it and I already uploaded the video. So if you see a map, you're gonna see like this big chunk of the country. Like, there's almost no one living in there. Everyone is in this side of the country, because the upper part of the country, it's called Chaco, and it's like a desert. Well, yeah, That's the way some people would describe it, but I don't think they are an actual desert. There is a lot of animals, fauna and flora. I don't know how to say that in English. I'm sorry. um, so yes, and after that, my English teacher became okay. Let me give you the full story. Okay, so music was another way for me to learn English because at first I would learn the words from the whole Elephant album of the Black Eyed Peas, and I would memorize them without knowing what they mean. So that kind of helped my tongue to be ready to when I actually know what those words meant. Um, and that was kind of helpful. And I saw my little sister and my nephew actually using that same technique, and I've seen older people using that technique, where you would, memorize the way the words sound, so you feel comfortable with them, in your mouth or anything like that. And while music is such a good way to learn the language, because you keep repeating it in a really fun way, and that kind of helps you stick it to your brain. And so I was starting in 2007. The phones were starting to be something more complex. At first it was you can even text on them, and then it started like the phone evolution, and then you can put music on them. And at that time I was a really big fan of one song that I had memorized from top to bottom. I knew every word, which is Bedrock from Young Money, because I was that was a time where Drake was everywhere. And the song that was really popular at the time was what was the name of the song? I think Rita Ora was on the video. I know way too many people here right now that I didn't know last year. Who the fuck you know? I forgot the name of the song, but it's let me let me try to remember. I know way too. What am I doing? I'm doing me. Oh yeah, that's right. I know. Yeah, I'm living life right now. Over. Till it's over. It's far from over. Well, that was a song that was like that song was everywhere, and I knew about it, and I really liked about it because I was very intentional into trying to understand other cultures, because I was every day on the Silver Cafe, in which there was one time my mom, because she would talk to the guy that was, lending the computers for people to use, paying if you pay. So she would go and say to them, whatever he uses, I'm gonna pay at the end of the month. And she used to pay like 300,000 guaraníes at that time for just using the Seaword. And I was there every day, and so I knew about Drake, and I knew about this song, and I was obsessed with it, and I became a Drake fan. That kind of went away with time because he's a man. But I everything for me started with being a Young Money fan. And then there was this song Bedrock, in which I first saw for the first time ever and fell in love with her, Nicki Minaj. She was my second English teacher. Um, the way she raps, the way she writes her songs. Let's not forget. I don't remember me saying it, but let's not forget that I actually work in advertising, copywriting, and everything. So I always wanted to write. Writing for me, it's something like a really nice beautiful creative outlet. And the way she writes her song, you kind of have to do a little research with every verse, because you not only need to know the word, you need to know the context of the word she's using. You need to understand if she's maybe making a double entendre or a triple entendre, because she do that all the time. So that kind of not only helped me to get English, like a conversational English, like I already was like learning through watching movies and TV, but a really more creative way to speak the language, and with a lot of, you know, twists and punchlines. And I think that's something like it's really hard to learn somehow, but music, it's a really nice way to you know, to introduce the whole thing, the whole technique to your brain. If you analyze music, is such a good way to learn the language. So that's it. I think today's episode is going to be just about random topics. And maybe I'm gonna call this, let me do a thumbnail. Let me do a thumbnail. What can I do so people would click on the video? Can I do like something? Nicki Minaj was my English teacher. Oh my god, my eyes looks weird here. Anyway, thank you so much for, if you got to this part of the video, please comment hola carasha. I don't know. I'm just saying. And if you stayed up to this part, thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a great time. I'm gonna keep making this series, so I keep getting better in, you know, talking not only to the camera but in English too. So thank you so much. I'm gonna see you in the third episode of Speaking in English, so I don't forget how to. Bye. Oh, let me think about thinking in English. So 10. So a dos. 10. So I 10 don't F for. Oh, that's. I'm not a mathematician. I'm not a scientist to be doing that. Okay, thank you so much. Bye.